The world's oceans have broken temperature records every single day over the last year, and scientists say it is fuelled by climate change. Figures from the EU's climate service that have been analysed by the BBC show last month was the warmest April on record.
Now, on every single day over the past year, the world's oceans have broken temperature records thought to be because of climate change.
Yeah, new figures from the EU climate service, Copernicus, show that last month was globally warmer than any previous April in records dating back to 1940.
Well, our climate editor Justin Rowlatt is in Bangor this morning, where scientists are monitoring how the rising temperatures are affecting the Welsh coast. And Justin, it looks beautiful. What does the science tell us?
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful, isn't it? This is the magnificent Menai Bridge, which spans between North Wales over there and the wonderful island of Anglesey, where I am now. And we often think of climate change, global warming happening elsewhere in the world, in the tropics, in the hot countries, up and down in the polar regions. But of course, it affects us all. It's changing the population of species here on the rocky seashores of the UK, in the waters of the UK. We'll look a bit more at that in a moment. But first, let's take a bit of a look at the global picture.
On much of Australia's Great Barrier Reef, you only have to dive below the surface to see the impact our warming oceans are having. Just look at the coral. It bleaches, turns white when the water gets too warm, and can die as a result. Last month, ocean experts announced record world sea temperatures had led to a global mass coral bleaching event, the fourth ever recorded. And it's easy to see why. This grey area shows the range of average global sea temperatures over the last 40 years. Now look at this. The red line shows the sea temperature last year, and this is how warm they've been this year. As you can see, the oceans are significantly warmer than in earlier years.
Should people be concerned? Very much so. I mean, these are real signs of the environment moving into areas where we really don't want it to be. And if it carries on in that direction, the consequences will be severe.
It isn't just tropical seas that are changing. In Cardigan Bay off the coast of Wales, scientists have been using traces of DNA to track the progress of this. An invasive sea squirt that carpets the seafloor, preventing the growth of native organisms. Scientists say it appears to thrive in our warmer waters. It shows just how fragile some of our marine ecosystems can be.
And you can see changes here on the coast of North Wales. You can see changes. There's a group of scientists from an organisation called the Marine Biological Association based in Plymouth. They've been sending, it's 3 generations of scientists have been going all around the coast of the UK, coming back to the same spots and carefully monitoring the species there. So 70 years of records that show just how populations have changed on our coasts. During that time, sea temperatures, average sea temperatures in the UK have increased by about 1 degree Celsius. It doesn't sound much, but it is enough to drive changes, as I'm hoping to be able to show you now. I'm going to try and find one of the shells that they've been tracking, and there is one here. That's one. So this is a kind of top shell. It's called a flat top shell. It's distinctive. Actually, that's not one of them. That's the wrong shell. Which is the right shell? Where is it? There's one here. Yeah, this is one. So this is a top shell. It's got a kind of belly button. It's called an umbilicus. And this shell was almost, there were very, very few of them 70 years ago. Now, these shells carpet the rocks around here. And it's evidence how even a small change in temperature can cause big disruptions in ecosystems. Because introducing a new species, a kind of shell that probably you'd ignore if you're walking on the beach, can really cause upheavals, driving out other species, changing the populations. We saw it, as you saw in my little film, we saw it with the sea squirts off the coast of Wales in Cardigan Bay, and those kind of changes are happening all around the coasts of the UK. Another big impact is on kelp, the kind of seaweed forests that grow in the oceans and act as nurseries for many of the fish species that we like to celebrate, we like to eat. Those are changing, and that affects the nurseries, affects the populations of fish in the sea. Big changes, indicating just how fragile marine ecosystems are, how sensitive they are to changes, and how even small changes in the populations of species can have really, really big effects. You see that here on the coast of Wales. So when you go out during the summer onto the beaches, look around, because the populations, the species that you see will be changing as you're rock pooling, even here in places like North Wales that we think of as temperate and calm and unchanging. They are changing.
We're just very relieved you managed to find a shell in time, Justin. We were worried you might be scrabbling around on the beach there for hours. But yeah, well done. Fascinating stuff. Thank you. Keep hold of it.
Yeah, don't drop it.